Hello fellow adventurers and collectors, Filmaholic here. In today's episode we're going to be looking at some updates that I've done to my G.I. Joe Takara figure and my Range Rover project. So recently on one of the live streams I was challenged to kind of make my own story, so I figured I'd start off with my character, and this is him right here. You've seen him before in the trench coat and also as part of the look, but right now I figured I'd showcase the basic kit that he has, and with this guy, I kind of lean more towards a survivalist look that, if he is on the run, he knows what he's doing, and suffice to say, he knows his equipment well. So that's the kind of look I went for with this guy, and I want to say a lot of the parts are mix mash, of course. There's 21st Century Toys, BBI, G.I. Joe as well. There's a widespread of stuff that I try to lean towards when it comes to these G.I. Joes to kind of keep that vintage look, kind of, if that makes sense. I know it's not necessarily in the way these things are manufactured, but just the look that they give off. So that's what I was aiming for with this guy. Now with that said, of course, I've been doing a lot of updates to my Range Rover project. It's been coming along slowly, but it is moving in the right direction, to say the least. So one of the first things you may notice, of course, is that I was able to swap out the wheels. So a huge thank you has to go out to Medic Mike for actually sending along a tip as to how to get those MSV wheels off the axle. So with that, I was able to cut the axles that were on them originally and fit the MSV ones on there. I did have to trim down the axle itself because it was a little bit wider than the Range Rover body, but I was able to pop the wheel off, cut it down, and add some spacers to make sure it wasn't gonna wobble around. So I like how it looks. If anything, I might raise it a little bit, not too much, just a noticeable amount to make it a little bit taller. I noticed that with these wheels the tread is a lot larger than the hub itself, the rim, so it doesn't sit as high as the previous rims. So as you can see here are the spacers that I added to the axles to make sure that the wheels are aligned. And all that was a piece of straw that I had left over, so I cut that and added it to the axle. Again, I might increase the height of it, but we'll see. That's a bridge I have yet to cross. So next up, something you may notice is that my Range Rover did not have a pillar in the back. So instead of reaching out to 3D print it, I decided to just make my own. And is it the best? No, of course not, but it gets the job done. And I instead of just making the one, I made a pair so they look more aligned. But yeah, I think it gives off the look, and at the end of the day, you're not really looking at the pillars, you're more so looking at the vehicle itself. So yeah, I also fixed the tailgate to make sure that it stays in place as opposed to just flopping around, but that's neither here nor there. Now with that, there was a problem with the seats. I know originally I had planned to keep the full seat, but it was just too much trouble than it was worth, so I decided to chop the seat itself. And thanks to G.I. Joe Eddie, his textiles are coming in handy again. I decided to glue some to the base of the seat along with the seat itself to kind of fill them out. And it's definitely not the cleanest look, but it gets the job done. And again, you're more so looking at the vehicle than the small bolts of everything. So I like how it looks. It's not the greatest modification in the world, but they do fit the G.I. Joes better now. I do have to figure out how to make a steering wheel, but that's another challenge for another day. And right now I do have some other pieces I plan on adding to this. I haven't crossed that bridge yet because I have to modify some bits to it, but outside of that, that's how the Range Rover project is coming along. So with that said, I appreciate everyone that checks these videos out. I truly appreciate it, and if you feel so inclined, please like, comment, and subscribe. I very much appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.